Yo, what is up, everybody? It has been a long time coming. We got another Get Sticky podcast here. Finally, we got the man, the myth, the McCracken. Took us a while to line up. We've been actually working on it for a while. It's been a couple months. He's been super busy, getting his team stuff going with work, kids, sports, all that nonsense. But it is good to be back on here. It's good to have Roy on the show. Me and Roy have been around each other for a good almost 4 years. Probably the end of the month is 4 years me streaming. So it's going to be 4 years of knowing this guy, working with this guy, and different things from modding Discords, huge teams, modding other channels together, running teams together, working together, doing whatever we can do to help other people succeed, why we try to help ourselves succeed. So Roy, give me a little bit about yourself and how you got into streaming and what Roy Mckracken is about.
Sure thing, man. Thanks for having me on me, and just to echo what you said, man. It's been a big experience. I've known you for quite a few years now. From probably even I don't know if it was before Team MC or we met in Team MC. It's been so long I can't hardly remember. But a lot of different teams and different things, and so just to go back from the beginning. So always been in a video game since I was a kid, man. I'm one of the I don't want to say I'm one of the older streamers on here, but I guess the truth of it is I am. I'm 47 years old. And there are some older, but not a lot. Not a lot. I'm definitely on that older end. So I've been playing video games, all my life, starting out with the, even before the Atari. What was the Pong I think I had before Atari? It's made by Atari. But anyway, playing games, always a big gamer, and played a lot of PC games. And when I moved to the house I'm in now, we had sucky internet before. We got better internet, and I wanted to try to broadcast stuff, and I think I attempted like a stream on Twitch, and it was pretty horrible. So I went to YouTube, and I made a first video. I was big into playing PUBG, so I played PUBG, and I think the very first video uploaded on YouTube was a PUBG video, some like funny stuff happening when you're meeting up with people, different things they say, and all this, and kind of upgraded my computer, started getting more into it, and I got a video on there to hit like 30,000 views one day from just me talking about how to set up a computer to run PUBG. Kind of got me hooked into it, and I started watching some streamers that played that game. So I started watching at back then it was FoxyZilla was one of the biggest ones I watched then. Was playing PUBG, got in her community and started learning about some of the people streaming, and then met up with some others, and different teams. So I started trying to do it myself. Started without a camera. Then I upgraded to the camera. Was on YouTube for a while. Back then it was a whole lot easier to be a YouTube partner, and you and I both went through this similar experience where even though it wasn't really paying anything, it was kind of an accomplishment to get that YouTube partnership. And then they totally changed the way that works. And they took it all away from the ones who didn't meet that. Kind of left a sour taste in our mouth. So the ones who was with me at that time in Gotham Knights Gaming, we kind of all transitioned to Twitch. And to be honest, I don't remember how many years ago that was now. I think it's about 3 years ago, maybe.
Got to be close to 4.
Yeah.
Because we started the same. I think I started a month before you or a month after you. So we're close to 4 years.
Streamed on YouTube for almost, I don't know if it's quite a year, maybe 7-8 months. And then came over to Twitch. And back then it was purely PC games I was playing. I had consoles, but they literally weren't even hooked up. I was playing PUBG, Overwatch. That was probably the main two. I was playing Forza, but I was playing it on the PC. Forza Horizon 3, I believe it was at the time, came over there. And always had a good following from some of those. Never really made it as a big streamer, that's for sure. But made so many connections and so many friends, and it's something I cherish just to try to help other people. So right now where I'm at, I've was in Get Sticky with you, and we've made that transition to making it, Extreme Heroes game with XHG, which we've had XHG for a while now, but not as the official stream team, which, thanks to you, we just transitioned to that there after Halloween. And so I think sky's the limit for the other people. And again, I do this, if somebody out of that group succeeds and becomes a partner streamer, that's my mission. I have a good job, wife and kids. I'm married. I have 2 boys who are 14 and 15. Oldest will be 16 here in March. And you know, I have that other thing. This is something I do for fun and for a hobby. So I'm in this to see other people succeed. So that's my whole thing. You know, we started the TikTok with the XHG. It's not caught a lot of traction, but I have fun making them, and you know, maybe one will hit here or there. You know, we haven't had that success over there yet, but that's where we're at now. So you know, that's pretty much me in a nutshell, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we met in Team Emsy. I think that's where it all started with us. It's
Yeah.
that was, oh my god, that Discord was huge at that time. That was a big thing on Twitch at that time because they still had communities. They had a thing on Twitch where you had communities that you could see like who was involved in that whole community and everything. And that thing was like 3,000 plus members, and you can go in there, and there wasn't a time that you can go in that Discord, and that Discord was just humming. Like it was like you couldn't keep up with it. You type one message, your message was gone within seconds.
Yeah, there was literally probably 50, at least 50 messages every minute or two. I mean, normally there might be a slow time, but and that was a big transition for me, and I've struggled with this a little bit, and I think from talking to you, you may have experienced this as well. It's that was so big, and it was so big into making sure people were communicating in Discord, and then you know we had to put certain Twitter posts out. They even put you like in training to be a mod. I mean, it was serious. And to go to becoming more of a Madden streamer where people are based on consoles and they're not so much those PC gamers that I was used to coming up with, they don't use Discord as much. And for the longest time, I was kind of down about that a little bit. I felt like, you know, if people weren't talking in Discord, that was kind of failing as, you know, a community.
Right.
And I've kind of gotten past that because we have so many guys that have started out on an Xbox, on a PlayStation, streaming straight from there, and have transitioned into getting a laptop or maybe a PC, and they literally don't do anything with that computer except the stream. You know, they don't game on it, they don't do anything, they just stream with it.
Right.
So we got more traction with like making a group DM on Twitter, with communicating on different social medias, and the Discord's never really come back to that way. That it was never Team MC. Don't get me wrong. I never had that kind of Discord.
Right.
I don't ever want that kind of Discord. To be honest, it was way too much.
That's
to
a
keep
lot.
Up with. Yeah, it was way too much to keep up with. But that was a huge thing for me. It probably took me a couple years to finally just come to grips with it's okay. It's okay when you go 2 or 3 days and nobody types anything in Discord. It used to be like I felt like, well, this is the end of it, and you know, it's just done.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of gotten past that, man.
Yeah, I think where I relate with that is like I was the same way, and I was trying to like do the things that like worked for Team MZ and how they did things, and that's what I try to do. But it just didn't work for me because, as I said, we had, like you said, there's a lot of console people. I mean, consoles really like got really. It seems like it's really picked up and got really hot in the gaming community. I think it's really for the fact that anybody can stream off their console. I think that's where that comes into play, that they can stream off the console. They can do it with ease. It's not like they have to go buy what right now you're probably paying $2,000, $3,000 for a PC because of the markup on the GPUs and your CPUs. So
yeah,
it's nutty. It's nutty when you get to it. And then and when it got like get sticky, I was just kind of like, it wasn't working. I was in that spot. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Roy the team because I felt like you guys had a good spot. Like you guys were active in Twitter. They were really active. They bought into whatever you created. I couldn't get the buy-in, so I was like, I've known Roy for how long? I know how hard you work. You're constantly putting out graphics for these guys. You're constantly doing whatever you possibly can to keep the cost down, so guys don't have to go out and pay these big graphics guys that are charging $400, $500 for a package. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to give Roy the shot. And like, you were even questioning. You're like, you sure, dude? You're like, are you sure?
The last thing I ever want to do is take anything away from you. That's for sure.
And I was like, I think I just got to the point. Like, I got to that point with it. I'm just like, I came to terms. I was like, I'm over it. Like, I'm just, I tried. I really put a lot of effort in. I spent hours upon hours in that thing trying to get it to go. And I think I have caught myself on where I made the wrong moves in it. And if it ever comes back to doing it again, I know where not to do it again. Right. And I think it was just your time to have that shot, like have the shot, having a real team and seeing where you guys can go with it. And your guys are excited. Like they were stupid excited with it. And that's all that mattered to me. I was like, it's in a good spot. I know it's not, I know Roy's not going to let it go down the hole. And if it does go down the hole, he's going to say something to me. And it's like I said, I think you guys have a really good shot of creating something very good and serious. Like if it gets to seriousness, I mean, you have guys that are bought, like, and that's the biggest part of it. Yeah. But being around you, you're kind of contagious on people. Like you honestly are. Like, to me, you're contagious. Like I get around you and you just have a straight line of positivity, even if it's a bad day. Like even if you have a bad day at work, bad day at home, you somehow find, hey, look, I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to be. We're not even going to get into that. Like we're just going to go straight positive, and that's a thing I struggle with sometimes. And I think that's what I admire about you, and I think that's what drives a lot of our friendship is the positivity that you can put onto me and what you represent. Like, because I've been going through it, like trying to like get through doing the streaming stuff, trying to get to where I want to go. But here you are just about everybody. Like you're literally about, you don't even care where this goes. As long as these guys are having a shot, you're content. And that's that's not an easy thing to do as a person. Like, to me,
it's not. But I'll tell you, man. So I don't know if you ever heard me talk about this on stream, but you'll know the people I'm getting ready to talk about, and I think the world of them. So we talked about going, from transition to YouTube to Twitch, and at that point, I had several people around me, but there was a couple people in particular that came with me, made Gotham Knights Gaming, and that was Evil Operations and Matty B, and they were both streamed on there, good friends, and we made that. We went for about a year. I think it was, and we tried to make like a community based around that Gotham Knights Gaming, and we were doing pretty good, and so we were playing the same games, PUBG, Overwatch, basically. That was probably the two games, and they started playing. I think it was Escape from Tarkov, and it seemed like I got kind of down on myself, and like everybody switched games and there was nobody really there anymore when I would go live to play the games with, and people weren't coming to the streams, and you were talking about, bringing positivity. Well, I was the exact opposite at that point. I got to this point where I felt like no one was coming there supporting me anymore, and I kind of let that boil over into acting like an idiot on stream and saying stuff I shouldn't have said, and it cost me my friendship with both of them. Evil's still around some, and he comes by and says some things, but Maddie's not spoke to me since that happened, and she left our Discord and things kind of broke up. But when that happened, some really good things came out of it. It was horrible that happened. I hated to lose her friendship, but it kind of made me stop and think about, why am I doing this? What are my goals? What's the reason for me streaming? What's the point of this? And I think as someone who's streaming, and I can only speak from my perspective, but you got to understand, are you that person that's pushing to be a partner and make this your career, your job? Or is this something you're doing as a hobby because you enjoy it? Is this something that you do secondary, and it's not about money? It's about just making content, helping other people make content, and helping people succeed, and doing it because you enjoy it. So I did that kind of, self-evaluation, looking in the mirror, and come to the decision that, I don't be down on yourself because nobody's in your stream. Help other people out. Go help them out. If it's meant to be, it'll come back to you. If not, that's perfectly fine. But this is supposed to be for fun. We started playing games as kids for fun. This is supposed to be for fun. I realize people do it full time. I know you're doing it full time now, Smee, but for me personally, I'm not a full-time streamer. I got 2 days a week scheduled, and then maybe I'll throw in a third one here and there, and it should be for fun. So I stopped thinking about myself on all that and try to think about others. And, you talked about the graphics and things, and this is not to put other teams and people down in any way, but I've been in certain streams where certain groups will charge their own people to make graphics just to change the color from blue to red and charge them $5-10. I don't understand that. It's a 5-second thing to make those. If somebody usually asks me for a color change on something, I just go ahead and make 20 different colors and post them up there. And then maybe I made one that somebody else wants to get or something like that. And those, I understand that I could be charging for it, but that's not the point of it. I like doing it. I really, if it comes a day I don't like doing it, I'll stop. You know what I mean?
But I
But I
think
really
that's
enjoy
what
it.
makes you different is that you'll do those things and not ask for anything back. And
Right.
we've been a part of things that are really big. Like we've both been in stuff where it's insane with discords and how you have to become a mod and how you have to do certain things. And I think it's one of those things is like those graphics, like it's simple, like you said. And those people that do that, I think I agree 100% with you. I don't think it's right that you're sitting here charging your own crew after you just made a graphic and all you have to do is click a
Yeah.
button and put a color in.
Right. Right.
And I think that stance where you have went, I think we all kind of like hit that spot sometimes. If you're in this at a certain point for it, like that's you, that's what you want to do. Yeah, you coming from YouTube over to here, you really want to go hard at it, and you want it. I think there's a time that you hit. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do. I think that, but I think there's probably a majority at some point in your streaming career, your content creation career, you hit the bottom. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Me and myself, I've been there with that. I mean, you've been around long enough to see me be at the top with crazy numbers, and then poof, and hit the bottom. And it's kind of like like you said, you come back from it and you decide, hey, look, I'm a help. I decided, hey, I wanted to help people, and I've still had to. I lost track of like kind of what I was doing, and it like I want to help people. That was my mindset, but I also wanted it, and I don't think you can do both full tilt because it just doesn't mix because you start lacking on the content part of it. And we had this talk the other night. Like you were like, you seem super happy because I let go of the team, and I've been like really just focusing on content, really putting out a lot of stuff.
You seem so much happier, man, the
And
way you're doing things now.
like that spoke to me because if you're seeing that, then that means I was probably miserable. I was probably not doing something right along the line. And I noticed like letting go of what I've let go of and getting rid of like people that I thought were behind me and keeping the ones that I know are behind me. It's made a big difference. I got time, energy to put into those guys, and I have another focus. Like my focus has been really crazy. You were like even asking, you're like, when's this coming back? When's it coming back? I was like, whenever you're ready. Like I wanted you to be the next guy. I was like, you tell me when you're good to go, and we're having it. Like we'll come back. And this is one of the things I really enjoy because now people that may not know who you are get to experience who you are.
Right.
And they get to learn more than what you tend to, I guess, put out on the stream. You're not one that gets too crazy deep on your stream. Like you don't get into your personal life. You don't IRLs. You try to stay stream and that's it. But these I think what's nice about these is a lot of people don't get to see this side. They don't get the inside of who you really are, what you're about, what your goal is coming forward.
Yeah.
And it opens it up. And that's why I think I really enjoy doing these. Like I know a lot because like I said, I've been around you for 4 years, so it's different for me.
Right.
But going forward, I mean, where do you see you taking or you guys taking this team now that you have a legit team? Is there any plans into what you guys are doing? I know you guys kept up with going with the COD streams, doing the game night and all that. Is there any more coming from the team? I mean, is there going to be anything else coming from the team?
Yeah, so we've been talking about a few things. I mean, we had great success with the Halloween stream we had with XHG with the Nightmare on XH Street. We started out as a 12, then it went to 24, then it ended up being like a 39-hour stream that we did. But there were still, even with that, there were some people who are just such amazing streamers in this that did not get a chance to be part of that, and I want to make sure they do. So, Stoney has continued to come over and kind of take leadership role with that game night, and that's something that you instituted with Get Sticky, and it's awesome. And we want to continue that. We made sure we invited everybody that was a part of it and Get Sticky to come over there, and several of those guys did. I don't know if you noticed, but Discord added where they're going to start. You can post events in there now on the calendar.
I've already used them.
So we want to keep doing game nights, but we want to add some other stuff. Like maybe we're going to do some Forza events. There's several of us in there that are pretty big into Forza, and I know you are now too.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm
we want
loving
to do
it.
some stuff with it. We would love to have a football tournament if we could get everybody together. The CFM part that we were doing, we ran it the last couple of years. I don't think that's going to continue. There's just not enough interest in it, man.
Right.
I got like 10 more people supposed to sign up, and they haven't. But as far as gaming and different things like that, we got Halo coming out now. We've got the new Call of Duty. We got new Warzone maps coming out here in a couple weeks. So there's going to be a lot of things game wise, content wise. But as far as the team and going forward, I always want to make sure that it's a super casual environment. I don't ever want to push people to do anything they don't want to, but I am going to ask if anyone wants to take a leadership role and make events for things. I know like Geekster has ideas on doing things.
Right.
Young has talked about some talk show stuff. I know you have ideas out the wazoo with different things. Just to kind of take leadership roles and go forward with it. I'd love
Right.
to have some more events, maybe not a 39-hour thing, but maybe we get 3 or 4 of the streamers that didn't get a chance to do it on that last one, and we have an event that revolves around them. We got some great content creators. We got some guys on there that I think if they got the exposure and some kind of constant schedule could really
Right.
make push for partners. Stoney being one of those guys. The Animal, if he's just so charismatic on stream, that he could do that. We got there's so many other ones in there that could do that, if they
Right.
choose to push for that and to support those guys any way we can. So right now we're pushing with the XHG Twitter, with XHG TikTok, trying to put stuff out on there. And I don't even know if they know the kind of behind the scenes things we do with that. When I say it's XHG, I just want to make sure everybody understands that me and Dollar Bill made this to begin with XHG. And at one point or another, both of us had to step away for a little bit. There goes my dog. That's
Nah, he's
awesome.
fine.
So, I got sick there for a 3-week span and couldn't be there.
Right.
Crypto, what's going on, buddy?
No, you're good.
The dog is psychotic. I'm going to tell you right now, he's crazy. In there's a kennel. We'll get off subject for a minute and come back. There's 2 kennels that he sleeps in at night, and the other one put him in there whenever we're not home. He wants me right now to go in there and get the other dog's food out of the top and put it on the bottom so he can steal it. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. Right
That's
now,
great.
I guarantee it. He's coming over to me because he heard me saying that. Lord have mercy. You got to hold on.
I mean,
But
you gotta
anyway,
hold on.
So if he lets me here,
Right.
calm down. You hear me? I'm sorry, Smith.
Nah, you're good. You're good. We're good.
I might have to grab him for a second.
You're good. Go ahead.
Let me do this real quick and get back. He's not gonna stop barking.
You're good. This is why you have editing. We'll probably have to edit this one. We'll probably just cut this. We'll probably cut this part out. It won't take long. You just cut this out and then boop, put it back together.
Real life, man. Real life.
That's why they have. That's why they have an edit button.
There you go. There you go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Simple,
so what I was
simple,
saying,
easy
me and
cuts.
Dollar Bill, we made this and started it, and it started off as we were going to make a CFM to play. Oh my gosh, my wife went outside. He was going to bark after her the whole time. And anyway, we kind of transitioned to making it into a team in the
Yeah,
community.
you can't really hear him.
I can. He's super loud on my end.
Oh,
She just came back in.
He kind of sounds like the dog from what was that movie? Grown Ups, when they had when he cut,
looks just like him.
when
It's
when they
exact
cut the
same
vocal
dog.
cord or something, and he's like,
He looks like the exact same dog. It's a like Pekingese and Yorkie mix. He looks just like him. Anyway, so and then we kind of made it into community, made the Discord, and then Dollar Bill stepped away for a little bit. But what a lot of people don't know is behind the scenes, man, that guy was still. It's either me or him that posts stuff on the XHG Twitter.
Right.
So he's on there posting, reposting everybody's streams when they go live, just on there, doing stuff like that people really don't ever notice.
Right.
Well, they notice it, but they don't know that it's not me doing it. A lot of that's is Dollar Bill, and still has been even when he wasn't streaming. Of course, he's back streaming now, so hopefully he's going to be back full tilt with that. But we just want to. make sure when I say grow, I want to grow the people we've got now, their streams. I'm not saying necessarily we want to go out and say, let's add 25 people, but
Right.
the people who are in the team to kind of grow their streams. And you made a good mention of this the other night about getting out to the community. So a lot of our guys play Madden, and this has not been the best year for Madden
No, it has not.
as the game itself goes, and as being a streamer of Madden.
Yeah.
The numbers are down across the board on it. When you go in there and look, you can see 10 people that used to be dominant Madden streamers that are playing other games. And there's a reason, it's just, it's not, I'm
Not
enjoying
fun.
it, but some of it's not as fun as it was. So, like Call of Duty, like you're playing Forza, different people are playing Forza, for instance. We got a lot of us doing that. So we got to get out in some other streams of other people that are playing Forza and kind of go network in those communities, try to get some more people. You're not asking them to come to your stream. You're just going in and being present, talking to them, and then maybe they'll, hey, stop by your stream one day or somebody else's stream one day, and kind of build off that. The the most of the people that are successful doing Madden now spend more time doing what you and I are doing right now than playing the game, is talking to people.
Right.
The people that are successful at that are not the people that are competitive players. They might have a good following just because they've won MCSs or
Right.
there's cards being given away. But most of the people that tune into a Madden now are the people that are playing marbles and talking to you, and maybe work an auction house or something. But playing the game part, it's just not as prevalent.
I think this is the
So
earliest I've ever checked out. Like I don't
right,
remember checking out as early as this early at all. I went to an 88 team and I was gone. Like that's it. I haven't even touched my team. I don't know who's on my team. I have no clue. I haven't been in for months now. I think,
yeah,
but it's been good. And actually, I think it's been a really good thing. I think it's actually been really good for some of the guys that have checked out early too. Because I know some of the guys that have checked out, they suffer with mental health stuff and whatnot. And the game tests you. It really does. It really tests your mental when you're in there, because like some of these guys are trying to chase the highest card all the time. They got to have the best card on the team, and that's the addiction part to it. But me stepping away, I felt like it did wonders for my mind. Like only thing I do is I play CFMs now. I got one CFM league I'm in. I'm making content for that league, and that's it. As soon as that game's over, I shut it off, and it's back to Forza. The Forza community. I don't know how deep you guys are into the Forza community, but the Forza Horizon community has been a wonderful community to be in. Lots of good stuff inside there. I mean, at nighttime, it gets a little hard to raid because of all the different countries and the people that get in there, like from Poland, Russia, and they're speaking their full tilt language. And I'm like, well, can I send my guys there? I'm going to say good night in English, and I'm gone. And like, I don't know what to do sometimes. Like, I searched the other night for about half hour, like to find somebody, because it was, I mean,
I was in there. I
at
was in there when you
nighttime,
raided
it
the
was
guys.
just like, I was sitting here and I'm talking to the chat. I'm like, I don't know where to go, guys. I want to raid in the community because I'm over here playing as much as I am. I want to start kind of building, and I'm really enjoying it. And we got the chat's been coming up with some really good ideas. We've had some new people. We have a ton of new people that are busy in the stream every day now. And that right there is huge. Like, it was like, okay, well, this community is just accepting people. Like they have people going around. Like, I had one of the big tuner guys come in. I guess he's like really legendary on tuning. His name's Onyx. He actually came in and built a tune for my one car. Didn't say nothing. He's like, bro, look, I got this for you. Just look up this name, boom, put it in. He built the tune for the car. And I guess that's what he does on YouTube. And I'm like, I was kind of like in a shock, you know what I mean? Because we know how the Madden community is now. It's definitely changed. A lot of people aren't willing to work with people. It's a lot of like incohesive cliques going on. It's not what it was a year ago and a year before, where I was able to get in with ScoMo, jump in with him, get in with other people. It's kind of like just shut down. Nobody's like, hey, look, nah, you can't have a piece of the pie.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a few good people out there doing it.
Oh,
but
absolutely. I'm not saying it's stopped, but
definitely way down.
But it's definitely hurt itself.
Right.
And And that's one of
So
those things when having that happen to me, I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? Like, I was kind of like shocked. I was like, we don't do that over there in the Madden community. I was like, what is this? So
right.
it was kind of cool.
So I don't know if you know or was. I guess you were probably around, but I'm not sure if you were like in the YouTube streams. So Forza was the biggest thing I streamed on YouTube
Right.
the last few months I was on there. Like when I transitioned from there, and at that time I was streaming on YouTube, on God, what was it called at the time? What was Microsoft's? I'm losing my mind.
I don't remember.
Started
Mixer,
off as Beam, and then they changed it to what?
Mixer, I believe.
Mixer.
Right.
They didn't change it to Mixer. So I was streaming Mixer, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope all at the same time.
So
Periscope was going live on Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's going live on Twitter. And I was doing all of them at once, man. And I had just, for me back then, a normal stream, I might have 15, 20 people. And I was having 50 people come in on the Forza streams. And all these people joining Discord and doing races and showing off cars. And it's a totally different feeling of a community. It's like, it's not a competitive thing. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that just
Right.
want to see if they can beat you and race cars. I could care less. I love to get in there and build cars and see what people make and like race. And I don't care if I win or lose. It's just always fun. And every time I stream it, I get people in there racing with me. And I've been watching some of your streams, and you always have, a few people in there racing with you too. And it's just more fun about like what a game's supposed to be. I still love Madden. I like playing it.
And I think that's it. The game is fun. Like, it's literally
fun.
fun. Like, I don't even think that I'm gaming anymore. I'm literally. We did it the other day. I don't know if you were in the other day. I think we had like 8 or 9 people in like a convoy together, and we were all jumping different cars. Like we got down on like, I think it was like the half mile drag strip, and we were literally just jumping cars off it to see how far we can get and try to break the records. Like, there's records inside the game. And we were just letting loose. And the one kid that was jumping had a record where he actually landed like right before the water on the other side. Like, he cleared all of it. Like, it put him in like the top like 10% or 11% on this. And then we did it again today. And our guy Felony One Gaming, he jumped and actually landed himself in like the top, like, I think it was like the top 5% of that jump.
Right.
It actually put him over. He literally clears everything and lands in the ocean on the other side. Like, his car, he hit the jump at like, I think it was like 290 mile an hour.
Right.
And it just set him flying.
It's funny you mentioned that. The last stream I did when I was playing Forza, we were doing the exact same thing. We were doing the exact same thing, exact same spot. And we only did it a couple times, but I landed right smack in the middle of the water. And then I watched a TikTok today where the guy made it, but my gosh, he jumped over the next piece into the ocean.
Yeah, that's where he ended up landing. He landed in the next piece over in the ocean. And I think it put him in, I think it said it put him in like the top 5%.
Oh, I bet.
Because it was a crazy jump. I was like, I'd like to get that car they allow you to like use at the beginning that hits like 300 and some mile an hour. I forget, it's the white one that you have to drive, and it's just like you have to dodge the cars. You have to get real close and not hit the cars when you first start the game. I would like to take that car and put it on that thing and see how far it goes.
So the guy I watched that made the video that jumped the whole thing, not as far as you're talking about, but just to the other shore. He was in a General Lee, is what he was in. So he was in an old Charger.
Well, that makes sense, though. I mean,
yeah.
The Duke boys did jump it.
Hazard music on it when he hit the jump and everything else. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
He changed the flag on the top because I know that's controversy.
Well, yeah, controversy now.
A little bit different layout.
That's awesome.
It was still the orange 01 on the side and all that stuff. And, he made the full jump. But yeah, so I think that's what a lot of people, I mean, you play whatever game you want. Obviously, it is easier to build a community off a game than it is off being variety streamers, whether it's for an individual or a community. It always is. But there's a point where you got to decide, do you want to have fun or do you really want to be miserable on stream every time you stream? Because I don't really get miserable with Madden. But some people do, man. Some people play Madden, and I get upset every once in a while, but some people play it.
I was miserable.
The demon comes out in a Madden. Like, they turn to a different person, like a person I don't even recognize sometimes. And a lot of them are the friends that in our community and everything else. And I'll message them like, "You all right? You doing okay?" They're like, "Man, it really."
I brought that to Animal's attention to one day. Animal's on there. And if you guys don't know who Animal is, this guy is like he is just a great person. He is so like he's sometimes so soft spoken you don't realize like this dude's huge, just a big guy, and he's so soft spoken. But when it was like like Roy's saying is when it kicks into Madden, he'll be talking, he'll be talking so nice. He'll intercept something. He'll be like, "Oh, you d bag!" Out of nowhere. I'm like, bro, like, where did you just go for like 5 seconds, man? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, like you just got real toxic right there. And he's like, I did. And he went back. He went back and watched it. He went back and watched it. He said, I didn't even notice I did it. He's like, I didn't even notice I did it.
I posted a couple TikToks of his where he's went off like this.
Yeah.
And one of them, he sent me a clip, and he's like, I don't know if you can use this because I don't care if there's cuss words in them, but when it is just like every other word, just like, we'll see how that goes over on TikTok. And so he sent me this one. So in the TikTok, I put a warning. Like
I do remember that one, the parental advisory.
Yeah, he's just like, I owned you, get off my field. And I think he was playing some like bigger streamer, and
right.
he was like, he said their name in it. I don't know if anybody caught that. He like told him off, but yeah, he kind of reminds me, and some of the other guys do. I know you played football,
right?
So playing sports, and particularly football, as an example, you had these guys that were super quiet and even in practice probably really weren't that good. And when you got in a game, they just rip somebody's head off, like just about annihilate somebody.
And then you stand there and look, and you're like, what?
Who's this guy?
Like, where'd this guy come from? Right.
You know, and some of these guys, when they're playing Madden, you're around them all the time, they're super nice, and all of a sudden something goes wrong in the game, and the controller's going across the room, and batteries are flying out, and they're cussing up a storm, and they're like, what in the world just happened?
Been there.
I'm like, man, if I hope, I mean, to each their own, do whatever you want. I'm not judging somebody. I'm just saying, if a game's making you that upset, I mean, if you get upset for a second and you can come right back, that's different. But if it's making you upset enough that it really gets to you and makes you in a bad mental place, maybe walk away from it and play a different game.
Well, I think
an animal doesn't do that. Animal just gets hyped. He gets like hyped in it. He's not getting mad. He's getting hyped about it. But.
Yeah, he like that's one thing I like. I got to the point like I was like, man, the game's frustrating me. You're playing football. I mean, you've played football yourself, and you understand coverages. You understand where players are supposed to go and how they're supposed to do it. I played till I was 33 years old. I can read a defense. I mean, I can read an offense. I can read a defense from playing tight end and all that. Like, I know what's going on in the game.
I played tight end in my 30s too, and semi-pro and stuff like that too.
And when things don't go where they're supposed to go, you're like, oh my God. Like, I think that was the most frustrating part of it. Is like they weren't covering the way they should have been covering. They weren't. It was just you had to have abilities on. I'm not an ability guy. I've never been an ability guy. I hate abilities. I hate that you have to put it on there to make a car good. That drives me insane. Right. And I just got to the point. I'm like, guys, I'm stepping away from MUT. I'm not doing it no more. I said, you guys leave. I understand. Understand. But I also started thinking about, I have a PS5 controller now. Yeah. Those are $75 a piece now to get to, if you bounce one off the floor, Yes. And then they made the new Xbox controllers, so the price went up in those a little bit. I'm like, yeah, we need to get out of here, because I don't want to bounce one of those off the floor like I did last year when I bounced the PS4 controller off the floor. I was like, we got to go the opposite way.
Yeah, I looked at controllers today, as a matter of fact, and I was looking at an Xbox Elite 2 controller, and I'm looking at it at Walmart, and I'm like, I want to buy this, but I just can't do it. It's $179, and I'm like, I realize if it never breaks and it always works great, it's probably a good investment because it's heavy duty. But I'm using one of the Fusion controllers. It's like an Elite knockoff, but it's wired.
They got something like that. It just came out. They made a newer one. I don't know if that's the one.
This is not the newer one. I bought this one last year, but the new one. I actually just looked at it literally today. They got it at Walmart. It's like the Fusion Pro 2 or something, and they're the exact same as the Elite controller. The stuff pops off. You can add the back paddles, all that stuff, but they're about $79. So it's about $100 cheaper, but it's not wireless. not
Right.
wireless. Um, but yeah, so I've never been one to try to break things because I got mad, no matter what it is, but especially on a video game. But I can understand the frustration because just like you said, one of the biggest things for me is the coverage things kind of suck. But I tell you, one of the biggest things that gets me in Madden is when I watch because I played tight end a little bit and I kind of sucked at it when I started, but I learned to block from some of the guys who were linemen who was teaching me how to do things and learned a lot from doing that and got a much better respect for like offensive linemen and all this. And in the game, when like your tight end or your tackle just stands up and the guy just runs right past him and they don't even do anything,
Yeah.
don't even.
Don't even
I'm just
engage and
like,
you just get
what is
smoked. You're
this?
like,
What is this? Or your fullback just stands there and
and the
there's
worst.
only one guy in the backfield, but the computer doesn't block. It
I
just
think it's the worst thing is too is these cars are like the ones that are missing are like 90 overalls or higher,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you can go plug like a 70 in there and you'll see a block happen. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
I
what?
did learn one thing on the game, talking about just the gameplay, is I was a real bad culprit of pulling the right trigger every time I get the ball as a quarterback and scrambling out. So if you do that, immediately every person on defense gets a block shed.
Right.
When you pull the right trigger, it block sheds and they come in on you. So once I learned not to do that, I could stand in the pocket for quite a while now. So I did learn to do that. So maybe some of the times the game's not as broken as you think.
Right.
It's my own
From
ignorance.
faults, right?
So learned some of that, but definitely having a lot more fun with some of the other games. And people have made comments to me when I stream games like Forza or something like that. It's like I can tell you're having fun with it. I usually don't get too many comments on Madden that I could tell you're having fun with it.
Right.
I mean,
I mean,
every once in a while,
like
but
that's
not in the norm, you know.
yeah. I mean, it's this year. It's just I really think it's been really hard. I don't know how these guys are doing it. That's all they're playing. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I was watching today. I was watching Voles play.
Yeah,
Kid's young. Kid's young. He's
absolutely.
he. I've never seen like he's usually upbeat, having fun, whatever. I went in there. I literally left the stream instantly. Like that
Right,
kid was
right now it's
so
the
pissed.
MCS ladders, and they're so focused in on it that
Well, he
you
was
know,
he was having a bad day, I think, because
yeah,
he was just like he wasn't talking, he wasn't anything, and I'm just like, I get you're making money, but are you making him? No, I mean, it may be a good thing for him because he's young,
yeah,
he's still at home, but are you really making enough money to live off of?
yeah,
If you don't win, you know what I mean? Like if you're not winning in the MCS, you're not winning that much money.
right.
The
Yeah,
MCS is probably one of the lowest paying
if you're not
esports.
coming in one of the top two guys, you're not making that much money. I mean, maybe top three or four if you're top three or four every tournament,
Right.
not just one or two.
But I mean, that's
But
month spread though. Like, I mean,
absolutely, there's only what is there only two or three as far
there's
as the MCS?
four. I think there's
Four.
four.
So
Because you
let's
get,
say you do those and only come in fourth in all four of them, you're still not making much money to live off of for the year.
right. Like,
I mean, if you come in second in all of them and first in one, you're making some good money. But you're talking about that, the people that stream it day in and day out.
yeah, like,
I think most of them that are still successful, and there's different levels of success. When I say successful, I'm just talking from the perspective of like the people in XHG, from the people in the community that I know, uh, the ones that are not partners or don't have hundreds of people in there, thousands. Just the I hate the term small streamer because I think it labels you as something that
right.
you're not. But the people who don't have that many viewers compared to these big streamers are successful playing Madden because they don't just play Madden on the stream. I keep using Stoney as an example, but Stoney runs marble races the whole time that he is doing Madden, and he incorporates those in with like changing uniforms. Average Joker is another good one. He always tries to incorporate some scheme around Madden that it's still Madden, but it's something to incorporate the chat. Like they're going to have wheel spins to get his players, or they're going to do other things. Tiger Jet does marbles races. And makes fun of Ginger Snitch, which is always fun to watch. But you gotta have something else. Unless you're one of those top players in the world and you think you just turn on Madden and sit here and just play the game, sometimes I'm a bad example of that because I do just play the game. But I try to talk to everybody. I try to have more interaction with chat if there's two people in there or 50 people, and try to talk to them the whole time. And that's something too. We talk about that amongst ourselves. A lot of times we play games off stream. We'll talk about different things, and as a community, as a streamer, You know, we've talked about that before. It's one of the hardest things is talking to nobody
It is.
and getting on there and making sure you're keep talking the whole time you're streaming. And when you're not having fun, it's hard to do that.
Right.
It's really hard to do that because you have to make yourself. But I know, like, you know, I talked earlier. You talked actually about how I said you seemed happier on stream.
Mhm.
So I don't get to come to a ton of your streams because you stream during the day now, and I'm usually home for about the last hour of it or
Mhm.
something. But when I tune in, you're like laughing on there and having fun. You know, whether there's 6 people in there or there's 60 people in there or more or less or whatever, but you're laughing on there and talking about things. And, you know, I've tuned into yours and other people's with Madden when I saw you're playing. And basically, you know, you can just tell on your face that you're just like, when's this stream over? You know,
Right.
we got to get out of here. I
Like
got stuff to
checked out.
do. You know, just is it time? It's time to get out of here. And yeah, I don't see that. You know, it's not just Forza. You're playing Call of Duty now. You're playing the not Warzone, but you're playing the new Vanguard, which I've only got to play a little bit, but it seems good. Um, but you know, it's just if there's people out there listening to their streaming or whatever, just man, do something that makes you feel better than when you started streaming that day. If you feel worse after your stream, then you might want to rethink how you're doing and what games you're playing because it
That's
sure shouldn't be something you do that you feel worse after you
right.
stream.
I mean, and I think that was a big thing. We've talked about this a lot. Where I was heading, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel good about it. And now, like, I've always loved doing podcasts. Podcasts are always my thing. Like, I just love
Yeah.
to do them. And it was, I came up with the idea to get with another streamer by name of Lions Den 72. I've been around him for, oh my god, for years now. I met him through the UBG team back a while ago, and we've always clicked. And I'm like, I like to I watch him. He's always talking sports. He's a big sports guy. I'm a big sports guy. And I was like, look, dude, I was like, let's do a show. Let's come up with a show and let's do this. And I got the opportunity. He came back. He's like, dude, it sounds amazing. Let's work on it. And that's what we've been really working on. And like right now, we just got a new YouTube channel up with that. What I'm trying to do is like the whole time that we've been talking about, I've been trying to be watching what everybody else is doing to try to stay away from what they're doing. I want to be different because a lot of people are doing the same stuff. And I'm like, look, I have this. Let's do this, and let's do this differently. Let's go where people won't go. They take the conversation where others aren't trying to take their conversation. So that's kind of where we gauged it. And then I was like, I thought about it, and I'm like, nobody's putting their content to a YouTube. It's like we're going there. The same thing is now we're going to be having Spotify coming up with all the podcasts, and sports is huge. So hopefully it'll grab somewhere, and we'll have fun with it. And I'm having fun. Like I'm getting to do. I think, like I said, like you said to me, you think the team weighed me down to where my mind wasn't able to think of what I want to do, and I wasn't able to act on what I wanted to do when I had those ideas. And now it's just like full tilt. Like I have so many videos coming out. Like I don't think I've ever in content creation had videos going up almost every day on YouTube.
Right.
It's kind of crazy because I do all my editing myself, and that's the crazy part is that I'm so locked in now that it's natural to me. It doesn't even bother me. You know what I mean? I know I have to put this here, put this here, put this here, put this here, and it's just like it just goes. And that's what I like. That's what I think is great about you because you're like, hey, look, this is what we're doing tonight. We're playing this game, and I've always thought the same thing is like when you're playing like stuff like racing, the scary games, like. I loved watching when you played the scary games because I mean
I need to do some more of those, man.
we got to scare you. We got to scare you, and a lot of times we were all sit there like there'd be a bunch of us in chat just waiting for the perfect time. Like you see it on Roy's face that he's locked in, and you scare him, and he's like.
So I could tell, like, and if you ever stream scary games, it's totally different than streaming anything else because you look in your chat, and I have as many or more people watching, but nobody's typing anything in chat. Like nobody's saying anything. And myself, I'm thinking one of two things: well, they're really engaged in this story, or they're just sitting there with the button waiting to when's the best time to hit this button right here to
It's
scare him.
it,
But it's all about
we're not
interaction.
we're
That's
not
what it's
engaged in
about.
the game. Trust us, we're not.
Games
It's
just want
all
to
about
scare me. They
scaring
just
you.
want to scare me. But somebody made the comment about, why do you watch people on Twitch? What's that all about?
Mhm.
People that don't understand it. And I kind of put it like this. When I was growing up, in the '80s, the big thing for me was, yeah, TV was a big thing, but radio was still like
Yeah,
huge as far as sitting around on the weekends and listening to,
your favorite show.
yeah, your favorite DJs and stuff on there and all this,
So you kind of were
and you
like
tuned
the
in because of those
Christmas
people.
Story.
Yeah, you tuned in because of, you tuned in because of the people though, and the content they brought as far as just you weren't really interacting with them because you couldn't talk back or
Right.
anything, but they kind of made it feel that way, and that's what streamers are. We're all like our own little radio DJ with or obviously TV because you can watch it now, but
Right.
with video. But it's about entertaining somebody, and I don't think so much it once you engage with somebody and they start coming to your stream, it's not so much about the game you're playing anymore. I'll be honest, there's some I'll use Deekstra as an example. Yeah, he plays Madden normally, okay, but I couldn't even tell you if he wins or loses his games. I'm gonna be honest, and that's not a knock against him.
Yeah.
It's a compliment. I I really don't know if he's any good at Madden. I don't even care. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting there hanging out with
Right.
him, and he's doing his jukebox hero. He's doing his marbles racing. He plays Madden, talks about the cards, and jokes around with people. And I don't know if I've ever even paid enough attention to say whether he's a good Madden player or not. I don't even know if he even wins any games
That's
on
actually
stream.
that's actually a pretty good thought there because I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've ever fully watched him play a game because like I said, that man has a marbles thing set up like crazy. He has a whole gist out of it for fantasy football,
Yeah.
how it races, how it lines up to get you into like if you're gonna win to get into the game, and then
Oh yeah, and he
the
does it all
jukebox
week and
hero.
like yeah, he
Jukebox
has a
Hero
whole
was
thing.
I think that was like a legendary thing. Like
It is.
that's a legendary move,
Yep.
and it's cool because he's older than you are, and
Yes, he is, and
to
I bring
see.
it up every time. Yes,
I was
he
trying
is.
to help you right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to help you, Roy.
Is he 55? I
I
think
thought he was
53.
I thought he was 57, but I hope I
He
didn't
might
offend him.
be. I don't know. I don't want to age him, but
That's what I was
he,
kind of scared to say that right there, but I thought he was 57. I
I
might be
don't think
wrong.
he's 10 years older than me because I'm 47. He just had a birthday recently. I have to go back and look see how old he is. But there's only a couple guys older than him that come into streams, and there's a couple. There's some that are. Top Sniper. I haven't seen him around in a while, but
He just got
um,
married.
yeah, he did. He did. And there's a couple other ones that are a little bit older. And there's some other ones in their 50s. But I think Madden in general has kind of an older fan base as far as people watching it on Twitch, or
Mhm.
maybe it's just because I've gravitated towards those people.
Right.
That's a possibility as
I mean,
well
I think
because there are
that's
some
us
younger kids
too.
on
You know what I mean? I think that's us
there.
too. Being older,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
younger kids don't tend to like flow to
Nah.
us, so they're like, "Oh, these guys got hair on their face. Like, I gotta find somebody else that doesn't." You know?
Just when they come in and troll you, that's about it.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah. But
I
it's been
mean,
good though.
so where do you see yourself going? Like the next maybe like 6 months to a year with it? Do you have any plans for yourself going forward? And with, I mean, I know you're straight team. I know you're
Yeah.
straight with those guys, and that's your big thing.
Right.
But in yourself, is there anything that you're looking at like yourself, like that you want to better, maybe better towards the team?
Well, for me personally, no, not really, man. I don't. I'm okay with where I'm at right now, me personally. Now, what I would like to do better is be better at organizing events that help out everybody else. And I would like to, like I said, I never want to be pushy with any of our people to say, hey, we're going to do this, and I'll ask them if they want to be a part of it. But it'd be awesome to have one or two people that really want to kind of take charge as a manager of certain events to do things.
Right.
So I would like to get that implemented. The game night is a cool thing. I would like to do that with some other games. Maybe I tell you what, I would love to get a Forza race night. Last year, Tiger Jet and I tried to start implementing a weekly race night with Need for Speed. Which game was it? Heat, maybe.
Yeah, he was the
Whatever the
last
one that
one.
was cross platform.
That was Heat. They just opened it. I think they opened it. It might be 6 months ago.
Yeah,
Maybe they opened it up.
yeah. So the only deal with Forza, it's not cross-platform, but if you have a good PC, and Tigerjet kind of always makes fun of me for this, but I'm always promoting Game Pass on there, and no, I'm not sponsored by Game Pass, but it'd be nice if I was, if you're listening. But anyway, and
Good
I
plug.
talk about how you can get Game Pass on PC for $1 for the first 3 months, and basically you get some top tier $60 games for that.
I
Right
wish
now,
I would have
Halo
known that.
Infinite, yeah, Halo Infinite. You don't have to have an Xbox. You know, to be honest, a PS5 and a good gaming PC is probably a better combo than an Xbox Series X, because you can play them on the PC. But like you said before, the price of a gaming PC to play those kind of games well
Yeah.
is pretty substantial right now.
I was looking myself. I was actually kind of blown away. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. I'm glad I built mine when I did.
Oh, me too. Me too. Mine's good to go. It's not the top tier, but it's got 2070 in it. It's got the newest Ryzen 5 in it, which is supposed to be the best gaming CPU for the money. There's better ones, but like for the money, you know. And Tiger Jet always promoting the PlayStation.
I couldn't stop laughing as soon as I see it. He takes that shot like that. That is a Tiger Jet move at all times. That guy, when he gets the shot to take it, he's taking it. He's running with it.
So I would love to do some race nights, and this is the way we used to do it. And if you don't set some levels or something, it's kind of hard. But like you have a night where, hey, here's what we're going to do. 1 week from today, we're going to have a race night where we're going to race A800 class muscle cars, and that's what you got to make, and that's all you can bring to the race, and do like series of 6 races and see who wins, stuff like that. So I'd like to do some more game night things around some different games, maybe Jackbox. Some people mentioned poker, some different things like that. See if we can get some engagement on it. I know the event we had for Halloween went well. I would love to do another one right there after Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and have like maybe a holiday theme with it, and do something, maybe a tournament or whatever, a stream with some different people doing those. So some different things like that. But really, man, I mean, sure, I would love to turn on Twitch one day and start getting 10,000 viewers and be a full-time streamer and all that stuff.
I would love 10,000.
Yeah, but reality is I have a very good job that I enjoy, pays the bills, provides for my family, and I love my family and provide for them, and really a hobby to over the next 12 months, over the next year, this time next year, if we've got 2 or 3 people on our team that have made it to a partner, or at least have really grown as streamers, I will think it's a success. I mean, that's what I will gauge it by, as a success. Or if we've got people that are now getting 5 or 6 viewers that, a year from now are pulling 40 or 50 viewers, that's what I would love to see that grow. The XHG thing, it's awesome that we have it. It's a community, it's a stream team now, but it's still just a casual community. And even though there may be aspirations for some of the guys on here to go into bigger and better things, I don't want to lose sight of it being a casual streaming community. You and I both saw the stresses it can be trying to make too much. And we also saw the stresses of what it could be like Team MC when it gets to something that huge. And it's good from some standpoints, but it's like all consuming for
a lot of energy. Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that behind the scenes, like just a little bit I do making the graphics, posting stuff on Twitter, making the TikToks. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and sometimes I got to make sure that I step away from that and I'm not neglecting my family and everything else, or my work or whatever, because it does take a lot of time behind the scenes to make things happen that people don't realize.
See it, and I think that's a huge,
for 2 or 3 hours, and they think that's the effort that goes into it.
No.
And it's not.
I wish that was the effort that went into it.
I wish it was.
I mean, like if like I was saying earlier, if you really take it serious, like as you do with the team, you take
Yeah,
the team very serious.
I
That's
do.
your home.
I do.
And as a lot of people, I know there's a lot of guys in here, they stream. There's nothing against their streaming, but
Right.
like to be able to make something happen, there's hours upon hours. Like me and Roy, I'd be like, Roy, I was like, hey Roy, I'm messaging Roy because Roy was doing our community game night stuff, and I'm like, hey Roy, we need to get this out so we can promote it because we failed on it 1 week, and that turnout was horrible.
Yep.
The week we promoted it, it was fantastic. We had 30 some people, 40 some people going in it, and those are the things that's hard to keep up on. Roy's got his own family. I have my own family, but I'm up till 4 in the morning sometimes doing stuff. And it's just one of those things. It's like people don't see that much effort. Like I'm trying to help people. Like people are asking me, how do you do TikToks? How do you do these things? And I'm the same way you are. I want to help. I want to see other people succeed that are around me and putting time into
Yeah.
me. I want those people to have a shot. So
Right.
I'll sit in Discord and I'll open up Adobe Premiere and I'll be showing them how to edit it and do all this stuff. And a lot of people don't see like how much time like it takes. Like if I'm doing a full edit for a video for YouTube, I mean that could easily be an hour to 2 hours time just editing that video because I got to take an hour some video and I got to chop it down to be between 10 to 15 minutes. So I can't take the whole gameplay in because nobody typically watches an hour long video on YouTube.
Right.
Unless it's like
Well, about
podcasts or something like
10
that.
minutes.
Like podcasts, sometimes these grab things like that or
Yeah.
reviews of things, they'll grab your attention for that long. But if it's a Madden video, it is not holding your time for an hour. So it's
Yeah, we're instant gratification now with everything as far as social media,
right.
and so even scrolling through TikTok, if it's a YouTube video and something, or a Madden video and something hasn't happened in the first 3 seconds, I'm probably flipping on the next one.
Right.
And it's people aren't going to.
And that's what I try to explain. That's what I try to explain to people when you do these. You'll see these dead spots in some videos, and I'll be like, "Get it out of your video, chop it out. It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Put that
Right.
thing on there when that ball's getting snapped back, and that way, as soon as somebody clicks on your video, the ball's snapping, so they're automatically into play. They're already automatically engaged. They're going to want to see where the ball's going or what's going to happen in that play, so they're going to stay. There's little
Right.
things like that I've learned from putting a lot of research in, but also paying attention to bigger people or how they're putting their stuff together. You won't catch a dead spot in most of those guys' videos. Their videos are full tilt from the beginning to the end, and then when it's to the end of it and the play's over, it's cut off. And that's the video. And
Yeah.
like I've even brought this back to Roy. I'm hey Roy, you got to get your hashtags right, and he's seen the progress of it on his own channel when he
Yeah.
does this West Virginia stuff. His tags go towards it, and it's kind of, to me it's crazy that West Virginia was his thing. That's where Roy's from, but
Yeah, it is crazy.
he was doing gaming and stuff, and he was like, look, I need to do something other than gaming, get away from it. And he's like, then he started doing all this stuff around West Virginia, and poof, like he gets a couple hits. He's like, dude, my video is taking off. I was like, I'm watching and I'm like, how? I'm like, what is going on?
I don't. I haven't been able to post a lot of videos on there lately, but I posted some, and they've literally just been, if I'm driving home from work, I turn the camera on for 30 seconds, record something, and then put it on there with some music, put West Virginia, and it's 1,000 views. And I'm just
It's I don't know,
okay,
whatever
it's
works.
like people, I don't think it's just people here. I think it's people in general. They love to argue about anything.
Right.
And if you post something on there and it's like, oh, I'll give you for example, I posted one about, wow, this is a big turn. It was a big turn in the road.
I remember that the big black one, the big long road, went real.
And they're all arguing about that's not a curve. This is a curve down here. And, that's not a real turn. You should come down here, and you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, I'm just hitting like on everyone. I'd be like, yep, okay.
Hey.
And it's like, it's like 30. I think I had 30-some thousand views or something. I'm just
That's me. I'm always throwing, like, as soon as they start doing that, I always start throwing like an interjection in there to keep them going. You know what I mean? Like, because people don't understand it. Like every time somebody starts arguing and you keep the argument going, it's engagement on your post, so the video just goes crazy.
It is.
Hey, you want to argue? Yes. Oh my God! Like I'll be throwing something in there, like especially if they're rude. They're like super rude and ignorant, because there's some people over there that are really ignorant. I'll throw something really positive.
I gotta think about that on XHG Plays TikToks and start making like I don't know. Every time I post one now, maybe I'll put some controversial thing on there. Just like, I don't know, like, hey, this player is obviously the best Warzone player in the
Oh my
world.
goodness.
And just see if some people start
You know it
saying,
does.
no, he's not. No, he's not.
I
You
am.
know? And
No, it's Tim the Tap Man.
you've never seen somebody as good as XHG Prodigy. Well, what about this? No, I don't know. No, he's, and maybe that's what we need to do, man. People love controversy. It's just like the
Dude,
news.
it's
They
so
don't
weird,
report
man.
good stuff. They report bad stuff, and they
It's
report stuff that people want to argue about.
and it's kind of like it's so weird when you think about it. I forget who I was talking. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I'm like growing up, like you grew up. You're older than I am. I'm 10 years younger than you, but we still had. I mean, still going through like the early 80s through the 90s. It was different than what it is now. Like it's like the world got soft. Like you
They
can't
absolutely did.
You can't say certain things. I mean, they're taking certain cartoons away that we grew up on because
absolutely.
they were this
Hurts
way,
somebody's feelings, man.
and it's like, what is happening? But it's one of those things. Is people love drama nowadays? Like they are all about it, man. If you can start and spark some drama, you'll probably be the best content creator there is. Like it's literally one of those things, but I can't do it. I was raised differently. I'm from a different era. This era is not me. So
the kind of drama I think that would make good content on there is just like you're not really making the drama. You're just like making a statement.
Starting
the
a
other
fire.
people they're the ones arguing about it. So you just like let it go. Okay.
you just threw the gas on it, and you're just who's gonna light it?
right. You just gave them the tools. You let them, make the fire and
Like
light
lead
that
the
flamethrower.
lead
You're
the
not
horse to the water. Will he drink it or will he not?
Right. Right. So might try that. I might make some tonight. Just
oh boy, look, see what I started, guys. Something like this. See what start.
This is some good brainstorming. This is we might make that happen. And so some of the guys have bought into that. We're talking about what to do with the team. I tell you, this is one thing with the team that I would like to get better at. So I know you put more time into making the TikToks as far as the way you do them than I do. And I know you probably got that shortened down now because you do them so much that you get better at them, but more efficient.
It's probably 5 seconds video.
So what I do, I use the website called Streamladders, and I've got it saved on my phone. And so if you have a clip on TikTok that somebody's already made, you just copy it in there, and then you can change around where everything's at, and then I use another program called Easy Cut, and I put it on there, and then I use one of our little videos before or after and try to make it all go together and put the music and everything on it right on the phone. Right. So it's not a tremendously long process. I mean, you're probably talking, depending on how long it takes to download and trying to find music, maybe 15 minutes per video. But what I would like to get better as a team is people actually making clips while they're streaming. So I could put that content out there, and that content out there, it may not seem like much to a lot of people, but I know you can probably attest to this. I think you have probably gained at least a few viewers on Twitch from your TikTok.
A bunch. It's actually been, from my count that I have now, I've probably had about 25 or so, which is not huge. I mean, I only have like 4,200 people over there. So not, and that's where people think, well, he has this many people, he should have this many people in his stream. No, it don't work that way. Like that. I mean, just like over here, I have so many now on Twitch, but there's right now on Twitch, you got to look at it as how it works now. You have more streamers than you probably have viewers now because everybody has access to it, no matter where you are, from consoles to a PC, and not needing a camera from a console, even though we all know having a camera makes it a little bit easier to engage with somebody and get to know that person and see what that person's really about compared to having no camera and just playing a game. So I think that's where people get it. They deceive it and they think it's going to be easy, and it's not. Not everybody's going to hit instant success. Not everybody's going to get good success right away. Like I had it once. I don't have it. I feel like I'm at a decent spot, but I'm not where I want to be. But the thing is I understand a lot more than I did when I first started. So numbers to me are nothing. You know what I mean? They're nothing until they need to be something. Right now, most of these people that probably follow me probably don't even watch Twitch anymore. They might be
Yeah.
kids. I've been on here for 4 years. There probably a lot of kids. I played a lot of Fortnite. Kids probably grew up a little bit in 4 years. It doesn't watch Twitch. You know what I mean? And then I've changed games a lot. I've changed from being a straight Fortnite streamer to going in Madden and going full tilt Madden, and then now I'm doing whatever I want because that's what works for me now.
Right.
And
well, I think at one point I had, I don't know, 10 or 11,000 followers on there, but I got follow botted way back in like, I don't know, or August.
I remember
those
that.
2 months, about a year or two ago.
That was
And
that was this year because we had that big problem going on. Everybody
well,
had
no, it was
because you got
I
hit
didn't get
right
it
after
from
me.
that one. I got it a year before that, and I know who did it. It was actually a guy who we thought was our friend that actually did it.
Oh, really?
He did it to 2 or 3 of us, and so I went up from like at that time. This may have been 2 years ago, from 500 followers to the next day I had 1,000, and the next day I had 2,000, and it kept going and kept going, and so it was kind of always one of these things where I never knew where I stood. And then that Commander Root thing came out, posted something on Twitter about how to remove them. So I just went back to a 2 or 3 month span during that year and deleted every single follower I had. So there might have been some real ones. I don't know. I think I'm back to 2,000 now. But like you said, it doesn't mean there's going to be 1,000 people in there. To me, a successful stream is when if there's people engaging with you in chat for me that I talk to the whole time, then I feel like I have fun and it's a good stream.
Right.
If I have a stream where I go an hour and nobody said anything, then that's not a good stream. And that used to, and it still makes me a little upset, but I try to learn from it. When the stream goes off, I try to go back and look at things and say, okay, what was going on? Was it a wrong time I was streaming? Was there other people in that are, that my viewers are also their viewers and they're in their stream? So am I doing the wrong time, or is it the wrong content? Or maybe I was having a bad day and it came across on the stream and that's why nobody was talking. Or I tell you, a lot of time
That's a huge turnoff, though. I mean, like a lot of people don't realize it. Is that you get on the stream, like you said, it was a little bit ago that you got on stream and you were just like, it was a bad day. So I forget what all happened, but it was a bad day for you, and you were trying, and you were just like, you just looked and you're like, I can't do it tonight, and then you got off the stream. And that's probably one of the smartest moves a streamer can make. I believe if you're not there, just take it because that flows. I don't get how it goes, but people see it, people feel it through a screen. And if it's like that, you just got to step back and you got to take yourself to a different direction.
Yeah, well, and I was talking earlier about I see some of the people in our community, and I'm using the community in general. It's not just Madden, it's not XHG. It's just the group of streamers that I pretty much hang around, like all of us. You know, one of them was having a really bad stream from a attitude standpoint. They were really upset during the stream. They're really upset during the stream. The game was making them mad. They didn't want to be there. And I remember talking to them, and I don't remember if this was a conversation I had and I said it, or I probably heard it from someone else and learned it. But I sent him a message and was just like, you know what? When somebody's in your stream, especially if you're playing a sports game or a racing game or something where there's an objective to win, which almost every game, unless you're playing an adventure game or MMO or something, there's an objective to win or lose a game. Soccer, football, basketball, racing, whatever it is. So those people that come to your stream all the time, they're not going to remember. Just like I said a while ago, I don't even know if Deke's any good at the game because I don't remember if he wins or loses, and I don't care. And the people that come to your stream all the time, they're not going to remember if you won or lost a stupid game of Madden on a stream unless you were playing for $10,000 or something. They're going to remember. The only thing they're going to remember is the time they had while they were there and the way they felt while they were there. Right. So if they felt like they were included in something, they felt like they were communicating with you, they felt like they were communicating with other people in chat and engaging, then they had a good time and they want to come back. They don't give a crap whether you're any good at the game. There's very few people that I go to watch and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope Smee is the best player I've ever seen at this racing game tonight when I tune in.
It's the engagement.
I don't know that I've ever thought that about anybody that I watch. to be honest, I mean, sometimes I'll go to Mag's stream because he's trying to do MCS ladders, and I know
Right.
he's a much higher level Madden player than me, and I'll watch him to try to learn some things or some of the other players. But for the most part, I don't think people care, and you got to stop and think about that before you get so upset on the stream, because when you get upset because of the game, because the
Right.
game's screwed up, because in reality, people don't care, man. They care about you and they care about being there. They don't care about whether you get the crap beat out of you. Even mad. I think Tiger Jet made a comment on stream one time, and I remember this, and it was several months ago when the game. Well, the game hadn't even been out that long. It feels like it's been out forever, but I think it's because people quit playing some of
Right.
it.
Right.
But maybe it was last month. He's playing a game, and he's like, I swear I'm going to win one of these games on stream one of these times. And I'm like, really? You've been losing them all? I haven't even been noticing. I just hang out and
Right.
talk and race marbles and
Yeah, but I mean, when
whatever.
hitting on that, I mean, hitting on that, that's important right there because I just recently said this a lot. Like I said this to Toxic the other night. Toxic Cryptic. I'm gonna drop his name because he's my boy and I can do that. So I'm in his stream and he's just yapping about the game, about Vanguard. He plays competitively. He plays it like that. He's one of those
Right.
guys. And I'm like, bro, I was like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, stop crying about the game. I was like, it's Call of Duty. You know what's coming. You know that there's going to be shit messed up. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, we know it's going to be messed up. Like, as soon as the first patch comes out, it ruins the game every year. So I'm like, nobody wants to come in and listen to somebody just whine about the game. Nobody wants to hear it. Like, you got to understand, you might have somebody that is having a bad day or something. You never know who's behind your screen, who's watching. You have somebody that's a bad game. And this is something I just recently really got into learning and fixing myself. Because like I said, playing Madden, I was that guy. As you said, I was miserable. I didn't want to do it. And then so I got there and I was like, look, I was like, stop. I was like, just play the game. Play the game, let the dumb shit happen, and just keep going. Like, if you sit here and keep doing it, like, you're gonna push more and more people out. Like, if somebody's coming in that has a bad day, they're coming to get interaction from you. They're coming to talk to you. They don't want to hear all the extra BS, you know. And he took it. He listened to me, and he's like, you know what? You're right. And he stopped, and he just kept playing the game, and he started having good games, and he started wrecking people. I'm like, when your head gets in there, you don't correctly see things, you don't correctly move right, you don't correctly make right decisions. You know what I mean? Like, you're so focused on what's going wrong and messing up that you forget that you're literally playing a game. And I mean, back when we grew up, they didn't have patches. The game came out with a bug in it, it was in there, and you had to work around that bug. And I think do I think it's cool? You can get a patch and you can get new things added into the game to keep the game lasting longer. Absolutely. I think it's huge for that. And I think that's like, as we talked about Forza, that's what gravitated me to Forza. I'm like, I got on there and I'm just looking at all this stuff to do. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm good. Like, I don't have to go nowhere. I can play this game and continue to play the game because they bring out seasonal stuff. They bring out all these other different races. They bring out DLCs for the game, and they care about their game. That was one thing. That was one thing I really caught, because they're sending messages inside the game telling you what's going on, what fixes are coming, what time it's happening, and they're like, as soon as we get it implemented in the game, we'll let you know so you guys can reset your game. I was like blown away by that. Like, we haven't seen that transparency in a long time from EA with Madden, stuff like that. Like, they keep saying stuff, and then it would be like, what I think we were supposed to get. I think that update was for franchise, because we were all pumped about starting franchise. I think it was supposed to happen in September. We were supposed to get that, and that didn't end up coming out till October, towards the end or something like that. And like, it blew, like, it took all what we had built up. Like, we probably, if we would have got that right away, I think we easily, XHG has their franchise running.
Yeah, we've usually run at least 3 seasons in each one, like 3 years, of seasons, and we've been doing it for this would have been the third Madden,
Right.
but it just didn't happen because we started it and we played like the first couple games, but there was like 10 more people that were supposed to sign up. So most of the people come from the competitive side of mud. When I say competitive, just playing head to head, not somebody out there trying to win a belt, but
Right.
just, playing mud. So they don't want to play the computer. They want to play people.
Right.
And we could sim the games where you just play the computer, but there's not enough people in there. You'd literally play 2 or 3 games is all you'd end up playing.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're in a division where the other
Only
guy
you.
in the division is a monster, or you don't even have anybody in your division but you, then you're not going to play very many games. You like Stoney, he's a try hard belt winner. That's why I didn't want to keep playing it, because I was scared.
I was scared.
But, yeah. But yeah, it's and talk about Forza, and Forza is also one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. I mean, it's just,
this is my first one. I've never played Forza before this one. I was like, I got on there. I'm like, I said to Felony, because I was a big Need for Speed guy. Like, I mean, huge. I played every Need for Speed that ever came out, and I seen this, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah. I was like,
it plays a lot different.
It plays more realistic to me. It plays really realistic.
It's really fun to me, and I'm having a blast with it. I've really not played it except on stream. I've played it maybe an hour off stream total. I need to get some more into it, and Madden still got me hooked.
I know they were yelling. My crew was actually yelling about you a minute ago while we were playing. They're like, "We got to get Roy in here. He's always plays it."
Man.
I was like,
want to for sure.
So I have to ask you this question: how's it feel to tie with the Detroit Lions?
Not great. Not great at all. Now, I'll say this, and every team deals with this, but you're missing TJ Watt for half the game. You're missing your 2 starting corners. You're missing your starting defensive end. You're missing your 2 top receivers. You're missing your top quarterback. It's pouring the rain, but it's still the Detroit Lions. It's still the Detroit Lions. And I thought they were going to lose. So, like me and Young talked about this, I can't really be upset with the tie, because I thought for sure it would be the first win for the Detroit Lions. I don't know.
I was kind of mad they tied
5-3-1 now for the Steelers. So to begin with, I thought there was no chance of them making the playoffs. Now, with injuries and different things, who knows? They could win the AFC North. I don't know, but I don't think they will. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs. But hey, somebody out there is going to lose to the Lions. It's just not going to be the Steelers. Okay?
I'm honestly mad, because they had a shot. They actually had a shot to be the first team to go 0-17. they would have been the first one. Unlike they have they're tied. I think who was it? The Dolphins that went 0-16, and they're tied with them.
I don't know.
So they could have literally been the first team ever to go 0-17.
I suffered through the 80s with the Steelers as a kid when they were
but the 90s were life for you.
The 90s were awesome. Most of it. Some of them were bad. I remember the Buddy Brister, the Mark Malone days.
Couple Dallas losses,
Yeah. Well, the Neil O'Donnell throw. Hey, I'll tell you a quick story behind that. Not to get off subject, but
no, you're good.
I don't know that there is a subject, really. Is there?
No, not really. They just go.
With Neil O'Donnell. So I went to college at Glenville State College, a small school here in West Virginia, and one of the guys, and Rich Rodriguez was the football coach then that went and coached the Mountaineers. And anyway, one of the receivers for Glenville State College actually broke most of Jerry Rice's collegiate records as a receiver. And was crazy. And he went on to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was on their practice squad. And going into the playoffs, the Steelers that year that Neil O'Donnell threw the interception to Dallas, 2 of them for pick sixes. So they had 2 receivers hurt. They called him up off the practice squad. And I remember working out, lifting weights with him at Glenville, and he would have the playbook. He'd be going over stuff. One of the nicest guys you ever meet, major athlete. I know it's a lot to learn an NFL playbook. That thing was, it was massive. He couldn't do it. So he didn't make the playing team, and they sent him back down, and they put a guy in his place. They called up from the practice squad, and nobody will believe me, but when Neil O'Donnell threw that first pick 6, that was the guy running the route. And he ran an in route instead of an out route, and he threw a pick 6 straight to the guy. So he didn't know the playbook either, obviously.
Oh
but you know,
my.
the second pick six was totally Neil O'Donnell. But you know, that was a heartbreaker. I remember watching that in college. But
You think the
I
Steelers
don't know.
going? You think the Steelers go into a rebuild next year?
Yeah, I can't see Big Ben coming back. I mean, he's been great for the Steelers, whether you love him or hate him. But I hope he retires for his sake and for the Steelers organization's sake.
And he retired. I think he retired in Madden this year in franchise.
Yeah, pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he did. He was on my team. He never made it to the regular season, unless somebody
He
else picked
did,
him up.
right. That was right. I remember that because you were
Yeah,
like, Ben's not on my team.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't think there's a player there. I hope they don't think Mason Rudolph is the answer, because I don't think he is. But he hasn't had much playing time, so I don't know. You know, he played for a few games last year when he was injured. He played that game in the rain the other day. He wasn't horrible. Um, Haskins is when Big Ben's there. Haskins is not even activated, so I guess he's the third. You know, he was activated for that game Sunday.
Right.
They play this Sunday night. I haven't read. I don't know if Big Ben's back or not. I don't know how long he was out. I know they play Sunday night football, so we'll see how that goes. I hope they draft somebody and we start over, but you don't know what you're going to get drafting a quarterback. I've always said if I was a GM and had like a top 5 draft pick, I would never ever draft a quarterback, because I think they're the biggest hit and miss position there is to draft.
We
I
actually
mean,
we actually hit that on the deep dive. I was like, I'd rather take these guys that aren't getting hyped up
yeah,
and by, oh, you're going to be the first overall pick. You're going to be the top quarterback in the thing. That I don't want those guys because there's so much pressure on those guys to perform. I don't think they can perform. Some of them can. Some of them love that hype.
you get lucky. There's one every
But
once in a while that comes
most
out
of
that's
the
just like,
time,
yep, he's it.
most of the time you don't get it. It's like Mac Jones. Mac Jones right now, he's one of those guys that I feel I laugh at it. I'm like, you guys talk so much crap about this guy, and now everybody, and you see all these commentators and all these guys, analysts, backtracking. Oh, this guy is the guy. He's the
the
guy.
best rookie quarterback in the NFL, and everybody laughed when they drafted him.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and including me.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
said in preseason, I said he's gonna be something. I said he learns that playbook just because like playing football, you look at things differently when you watch it. You don't just watch football. Like
Yeah.
I'm watching mechanics. I'm watching how this guy's releasing the ball, where he's doing, if he's making smart reads, if he's checking down. And that's what he did in preseason. I was like, I said it. I was like, man, I think he's going to be something special. I think not saying he's the greatest thing out there. I'm saying that he has the potential to be a good quarterback.
Well, you take a look at guys who play in the NFL, and it's just like the Detroit Lions, or like when the freaking Jags actually beat the Bills. Yeah, every team out there is loaded with talent, and talk about the quarterback position in particular. Every player that makes it into an NFL roster that is a quarterback in NFL is one of the most talented players you'd ever see in your life. Whether they play, whether they're third string, whether they're practice squad,
Mhm.
they all have the ability to be a top level quarterback, or they wouldn't be there. The A lot of those guys, the difference between being a starting star in NFL and being the guy that goes and plays for 10 teams and is a practice squad guy and maybe gets in a game every once in a while, is those guys that do check the ball down, those guys that take the safe throws, those guys that don't force the ball down the field. It's not so much their physical abilities, it's up here, it's their mental
Right.
ability.
Right.
I use Geno Smith as an example. Finally he's come to the realization he's going to be a backup in the NFL. He's not going to be a starter, and he had to play for a few weeks for Russ there at Seattle. But I'm a Mountaineer fan. For 7 weeks, his senior season, they thought he was God. I mean, he had video game numbers. He was not even close in the running for the Heisman. He's for sure the winner of the Heisman. It's not even a race. They didn't win another game. They went from 7-0 to 7-5, and you just saw him like deteriorate mentally as far as throwing interceptions and doing these things. And when he went to the Jets, you saw the same thing. He would have a game where he had 150 whatever rating, whatever the highest rating you can get as a quarterback.
156.
Yeah, and then he turn around the next game and have a 30. And it comes down to they just make bad decisions. There's
Right.
very few quarterbacks who played in the NFL who can make bad decisions and get away with it. And the one that comes to mind the most would probably be
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Brett
So I
Favre,
don't know if
definitely.
you've ever watched the documentary on him,
No.
but He said he never knew how to play football at all, like not even a little bit. He played backyard football all the way through college, all the way into when he went to the Falcons and then the Packers. And he said he got in that first game and they call this play. And he's like, I have no idea what they're even talking about. Whoever it was that was in there before him got hurt and he went in the game. And he just looked at the guys in the huddle and said, go deep. And he just shut the ball up for a touchdown.
Jesus.
And he said he got in the quarterback room, the next day or whatever. And he's like, hey, let me ask you something. When these guys say cover 2, cover 3, what are they talking about? He's an NFL player this time, and it's going to be Brett Favre, the starting legend quarterback. He doesn't even know what we're talking about when you say cover 3, cover 2.
That's
cover
wild.
4.
That is wild.
Yeah. And he's like, "What do you mean?" And the guy's trying to explain it to him, and he's like, "Seriously? I never knew. I hear him say all these names all the time. I just go out and throw the football. I don't know." And there's only very few people who've had that, for God-given talent to just go out and play. And a lot of them guys don't have it. They got the ability,
Right.
but they don't have it up there. And that's the difference. And it seems like Mac Jones might be one of them guys that knows how he can play within the abilities he has. And he's on a team, Belichick's the guy that somehow always makes
Right.
so-so players better. I'm not saying Brady was a so-so player, but he was obviously something that nobody expected Brady to be.
Right. Nobody
Tom
expected
Brady.
that. I mean, he went, he was a 6th round pick.
6th or 7th or something like that. Yeah.
And now he's the most dominant quarterback you've ever seen. The guy can be down 21 and bring it back.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I want to take this into the chat and let them, if you guys have any questions for Roy, put them in the chat. We'll see if Roy wants to answer them or not,
Oh, they're not from Tiger Jet.
As long as they're not from Tiger Jet.
Not about PlayStation.
Not about PlayStation.
Actually, I'd love to answer those.
But if you guys do have any questions for Roy, get them in the chat. If not, we're going to let Roy get back to his family and doing what he's doing. So let's see. We got anything? Come on, guys. Use your fingers. I know your fingers are old, Tiger Jet. I get it. But I need a little bit of speed there.
He's probably using the bathroom right now.
Sitting on the
He
toilet.
can't sit for very long without going to the bathroom. He takes. When I take a break on stream now, I think I'm going to call it the jet.
The tiger. The tiger.
Yeah, or the jet.
The Tiger Jet.
Know.
I gotta go drop a Tiger Jet. Oh my
the funny
goodness.
thing is, he's younger than me. He's 3 or 4 years younger than me, so I'm bad about it too. My Be Right Back screen gets used quite a bit during the stream.
What?
The most important assets you need to be.
Oh, what
you
is
need to be a streamer? The most important assets you need to have to be a streamer. As far as I'm going to take this as you're asking as from a personal standpoint, from like you, the streamer. To me, the most important thing you can work on. There's a couple things, but these all go together to make this. But when you start streaming, you don't have to have the best equipment. There's all kinds of free things out there to make your stream seem better than it is. Like, Smee turned me on to like the different camera LUTs things to make a cheaper camera seem better. There's certain things for microphones to make them sound better. So watch your streams back, and for whatever equipment you've got, make sure everything sounds good and looks as good as you can. And once you get to that point and you've done a few tests and made that good, I think the most important asset you can have is the ability to talk to people. Talk to people like they're your friends. Even if somebody comes in and says something bad, try to talk to them. Try to talk to them and try to turn that person from a troll to a follower. But just the ability to communicate to people, and that might seem stupid because obviously you got to communicate to people you're streaming, but trust me, there's people streaming that have hundreds of people in their stream and can't communicate at all. I will guarantee you, I could name several. I'm not going to name anybody's name, but there's people out there that do a horrible job of it. And if you're going to start streaming and you've only got a couple people, you may be that guy that turns it on and bam, something happens and you get 1,000 people rockets. You probably don't have to communicate anything because you probably can't. Chat's going by so fast. But be able to talk to people on a personal level. is probably the biggest thing. And when I say personal, I'm not talking about getting into their personal life, but when those ask you how you're doing, or you ask how they're doing, hey, what was your day good? Did you, what'd you have for dinner? What's going on? Get to know somebody a little bit. If you have one viewer and you get to know them, that one viewer turns into two, turns into three, turns into four, turns into people that come back to your stream. And, I think some of the people think that they start off streaming to make money. And if you starting off streaming to make money, you're starting off for the wrong reason. You might make money as a result of it down the road, but you got to start off as communication. I got some really bad questions here now, because I'm sure I do.
Yeah, they want to know if you do you enjoy ASMR streams?
I do so much.
And if so, who is your favorite ASMR streamer?
Well, here's the thing. So these guys have a jilted view on what ASMR is. Okay, I have a big thing with ears and sounds and all this stuff, so I like that stuff. Like, from that standpoint, I tell you, my favorite one doesn't stream anymore, so you guys have probably never seen it. Okay. and yes, it was a face shot, and it was just talking, Stoney. Okay, it was just talking.
Now this is a podcast.
And her name was Luna Lovebad. I don't know if you know who that is.
So what about what's her name?
No,
you know who I'm talking about.
I'm not into those kind of streamers. No, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Oh, you don't like the ASMR pool streams?
I'm not saying I like them. I'm just saying that's not what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
They want to know if you like it when they lick the mic.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't, what's wrong with you? Is what I got to ask. And you don't? I mean, it's a little suspect. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. These guys, I tell you.
Lord.
And this is what I love. This is actually like what I love about it all, because this is the friendships that you built. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say that. I was going to say that. So, Stoney and Tiger Jet are here talking, and there's probably other people lurking. And if they're not, that's
there definitely
fine,
are.
But the relationship you build with people, Tiger Jet made a good point of this the other day. Like, he's one of the biggest guys that he'll just say bad stuff all the time, but he's joking about it. He's like, well, I hope he's joking about it all the time. I think he is. And he's joking about it all the time. And, and something happened the other night with a little bit of argument between a couple people. And, we were talking about it after that. It's like, we say stuff like that. Hey, we'll talk about that next. But we joke around with each other so much that we don't think anything about it.
Right.
But you have to have a relationship with somebody
to do that,
where you're friends, to where you're on that level where you can say stuff and they know that it's just people, making fun of each other, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Ooh. Hey, usually once, maybe twice a day, sometimes, Tiger, okay? I use a skull shaver. Would you like a link to Amazon? Okay, it's right beside a Game Pass, and then it's skull shaver. And,
I mean, we can get them Manscaped 4.0.
Get a Manscaped skull shaver?
Manscaped 4.0.
There we go.
Right off. And you can take care of the lower half there.
I'm not using the same one. Both.
They want to know. This comes from Stoney05. He wants to know if you want the tongue penetrating the mic or just the tip.
Oh, full on, man. You gotta the whole thing, man. The whole thing. Have you ever heard of Manscaped?
Yeah.
Well, I would say he's got sponsorship.
Yeah. And just use that when you go to their website. Just use code SME, 20% off. And you get that off sale stuff too. So just so you guys know, if it's ever your sale, 20% off.
What's the soap they advertise now?
Dr. Sasquatch. I'm actually working on that one right now.
I was gonna say,
not gonna lie.
I have one to go conjunction with.
Not lying. I have bars of it in my bathroom. So far, the one that I don't use and I won't use again is, I think it's like Falls. It's called Falls or something like that. It kind of like dried my skin out.
Falls with an F.
Yeah, with the F.
Oh, okay.
Like waterfalls.
I said balls.
No, not balls. We're not. I mean, I don't know if that's what's on your mind, but balls are definitely not on mine.
That's not a yes or no question, Tiger Jet. That's
No, he said he wants the whole thing. He said he don't want just a tip. He wants the whole thing.
I didn't skip your question.
Are you Batman or McCracken? Yes or no?
Yes. Who do you fear more playing? Oh, Mrs. Stoney for sure. You're a pushover, man.
Ooh.
He did
Fighting
beat me
words.
last time. He
Got
beat me
fighting
last time.
words.
We've only played one time on Madden 21, and he beat me, so I can't really talk much smack.
That's freaking.
I can't talk much smack. He did beat me the last time we played, so yeah.
That's great. That is fantastic.
I have a bad habit when if I'm playing anybody I know, I can't, like, if there's a situation where I know I could take advantage and score this touchdown or do this, I just can't do it. I feel like I'm cheating even though it's not cheating.
Right.
And like I will run the ball when I should have passed or something like that. And it's just I have a hard time playing against people I know because I play worse. But Mrs. Stoney smoked me. I don't know if you know that story. I didn't know I was playing Stoney in weekend league last year. I had no idea. I never look at the names. And I'm sitting here playing Stoney in weekend league, and he's streaming. And I didn't know this. I'm just sitting here. I got the stream up, I think, but I got several tabs up, so I'm not even paying attention. And I had Michael Vick, and I went to pump fake and threw the ball instead of pump faking. And the middle linebacker picked it off and ran it back for a touchdown. And then I went right back down the field and tried to score, and they intercepted me again to end the game. So I just ended the game, went on about my day. A couple minutes later, I tuned in to Stoney's stream, and he's just dying over there laughing. And I'm like, what's going on? What's so funny? And he's like, did you not notice the team you were playing there? And he said, what's better is that was Mrs. Stoney playing defense. She smoked you. And there's a clip of it somewhere.
Oh, my. How'd that feel?
It's kind of degrading and demeaning, but, you come to get used to it. Nah, I didn't care a bit. I care less. But yeah, I went to pump fake and just like barely lobbed the ball over the middle, and she pick sicked it. And yeah, I didn't even know I was playing him. I had no idea. I wasn't paying a bit of attention. I read the names now to see who I'm playing.
That's how it was with me. And me and who was it? Me and Yimmy matched up the one time.
Me and you matched up too.
Yeah, me and you. That was like right at the beginning. Like we were like nobody was like really playing next gen at the beginning. And then we ended up, and I'm like, no way. And that game was crazy. That game, I think it ended up like coming down to the end of the game.
Yeah, that's the beginning of this Madden when most of the scores were like 40-30, and so there's a little more defense in the game now. Most of the games aren't quite that high, but there's still possibility some high scoring, but not quite as bad as it was then. Yeah, it was no defense then. It was just like I liked it kind of. It was fun,
right?
I mean, but yeah.
It's true. Stoney stream snipes his opponents. They want to know if it's true. He does.
Yes. I played him Saturday before last, I think it was, on stream, and I was streaming and he was streaming. And B Hecka kept coming back and saying Stoney was watching my stream and he was a dirty cheater. So I'm sure that was true. I'm sure it was true. Yeah.
They want to know your favorite Forza 5 car.
So I'm not sure if it's in Forza 5, but I feel like it is. My favorite car from Forza Horizon 3 and 4 is an Audi Quattro Sport, a rally car. Always has been. And I think it's in this new one. Well, I know it's in the new one because I tried to get it on stream the other night, and it's pretty expensive, so I didn't buy it. They were up there for like $400,000 for one of them.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got a $7 million car in my little garage.
Man, that's crazy.
I just got the what is it? The Lamborghini Esco or something like that.
Oh yeah. So if you get some of those Forza cars, like the Forza Edition ones, give you extra points.
That's what that is. That's I actually have,
man, to rack up the wheel spins and everything. It's and then there's some glitches in here too. I don't know if you know about the Willies.
Yeah, Felony does.
The big thing on stream the other night was they were saying, be careful for strangers sending you willies in the mail. Willie's Jeeps. Yeah. But yeah, you didn't want some stranger's Willie.
I mean, oh boy, we're sending willies to people now.
Yeah.
But no, they had I was in there and I actually got it out the auction. You love the wiener, don't lie.
A hot dog, maybe. That's about it.
But yeah, I actually got in there I was actually racing that car, and I actually pulled mine right at the beginning. I didn't pull that one, but I pulled the Trans Am, I think it is. hit the Forza edition. And I had no clue. Like, hey, hold on to that, rack up your stuff. I'm like, nope, that wasn't sold. And I was just like, I was just building up. Like I just wanted to.
Wait, did you quick sell or did you put it on auction?
No, I put it on auction house. I mean, I made
for a good bit.
I made a good bit, and I was trying to get enough to be able to go and play in the auction house for the Lamborghini.
That's a yes, Tiger Jet. Boxer briefs, actually, not boxers or briefs, but boxer briefs. You know,
he put them together.
Yeah, you
new fashion.
Yeah. Do you foot long hot dogs? Anybody banned Stoney 05? I think he's a troll.
It's kind of, I don't know if he can do the banning. He is a mod. Twitch took our fun away.
Right.
You ban a mod, they unfollow automatically. But Roy, I appreciate you coming on. It was great getting you on here finally.
Yeah, man.
And guys, make sure you look out for these. These are going to start coming back regularly as I can get more people on. I don't know if it's going to stay Thursdays or whatnot because I'm still doing stuff with the sports podcast and might be doing some sidecast, like a double sidecast type of deal with that. But be on the lookout for these. These are coming back, so you're going to get to meet some more people that are inside the community, great people. I don't just bring anybody on. I'm very selective how I do these. Like I don't like to bring somebody I don't know, so because there's people out there that try to do dumb stuff, and we don't want to be banned. So if you want to be on the show and you guys are in the chat, please let me know. We'll get it together. But again, guys, make sure you guys stay tuned to Roy. His link will be down below in the description with his Twitter, his Twitch, and I'll throw in the XHG stuff for him too. So that's there. Just make sure you guys check him out. At least give him a shot and see what he's about. You might like him, you might not like him. That's up to you guys. I don't make that decision. But thank you guys again for stopping in. And we are out of here to the next one. Peace.